Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Since you guys like the dragon attacks, apparently, we will take a look at the next dragon strategy. We already had mass dragons and queen rock dragons. If you missed those videos, check it out. They will be down below in the comment section. And well, today we'll take a look at the next strategy. This is going to be the army, and I will show you guys once again on how to do it. What I will show you as well on how to defend those strategies as well, because that's a typical question what I like present you an army and how to defend that, because a lot of guys are using this strategy right now. So let's take a look at first the attack strategy and after that on how to defend the attack. Okay, let's take a look at the first base, which is kind of like a teaser style base, which pretty much means that one of the town hall is at one of the sides, kind of far on the outside, or at least it seems like it, and it lures all of the attackers in there, but most of the traps are on that side. This being said, we know that at the bottom probably are a lot of traps, so let's try to figure out a way on how to come in from the opposite side. As well to mention is all of the wizard towers at the top around circling around the eagle, because that's really bad for our bats, which means they will kind of easily die over there, even though there are no multi-inferno towers. The multi-inferno towers at the same time cover all of the bottom of this base, which makes it kind of tricky actually to use the bats. There are two ways to use the bat spell right now. The first off is normally before the actual attack is happening, which means you're maybe clearing a couple of buildings with your heroes and then using the bats, or even starting with your bats. And then the other option is to actually start with the bat spells during your dragons are already inside of the base. But with having the eagle separated like this, we will start the bats a little bit later, because we can take out the eagle kind of early with our heroes. The queen is going to get through the ball because we don't use any wall breakers in this army, and is getting rid of the eagle. As soon as that happened, we can start off with our second phase, which is going to be the dragons. Then we have still the ice golem, because we didn't have used it with our heroes in the beginning. So let's start off with the dragons. Dragons in from the top. We used most of our dragons at one spot, because they should kind of funnel themselves a little bit, and then we use the slammer to get rid of the right side as well. Now we are using the bat spell without any rages or whatsoever. The bats are mainly for funneling purposes. With clearing out the right side with the defenses, it should make most of the dragons actually go inside and get rid of this really heavy core, which is pretty much the essential thing of trophy base right now. Then we're using the warden ability to try to cover most of our dragons and protect them from the Giga Bomb, even though more dragons than I hoped for went on the right side. But still, we have enough dragons in the core to clear out this. This is looking really good. And even though we know we are getting now into danger zone, most of our traps, or most of the enemy traps, are expected to be at the bottom. But even though that should be the case, we have so many dragons still alive, clearing out the rest of this base. And this is looking really good. Now I want to talk you through how to actually find the right angle to come in from with your dragons, etc. And one more thing to mention as well is this army isn't final at all. DragBat is really attacker dependent, which means some of the players are using 5 bats and more freezes, or an additional rage spell. Some of the guys are using wall breakers. Some of them are using no ice golem. It's up to you and how to use them, and the how to call it, the setup of the attack itself. So let's take a look at the next base, and this base is looking actually pretty similar to what we had first. But now once again, what you should always do first when you're looking at a base with DragBat in your hand is, where are the defenses that actually do the splash damage, which means multi-inferno towers, later on the town hall if it's activated, or the wizard towers. Those type of defenses are really important to find and take out early, or somehow tank maybe, so your bat spells are actually getting a little bit of value. One more thing which is important as well are the expos. If there's a group of expos, because of the fire rate of those things are so high, it can kill bats kind of quickly. So what we did, we take out the top side of this base, and now we clear the flanks, which means the right and the left side, to make sure that we actually can come in from the top, to make sure that all of our dragons going inside. During that, we are trying to funnel with a couple of baby, or like with the baby dragon and dragons as well, to make sure that our later main push with the dragons has no like outside buildings anymore, and we can figure out a way on how to actually get into the core once again of this base. We have the setup with all of the multi-inferno towers and the eagle, town hall, expos all around the town hall. So this is the main thing to push through at this point. I used my queen ability, king is already down, and now we're using the slammer onto the air defense. With the air defense out of the way, the pathing into the eagle should be perfect, and after that, as soon as the eagle is going down, we should be able to enter the town hall. We have a lot of dragons coming in and a couple of loons as well. We are freezing the left side to make sure that, well, most of our dragons can enter the core, then the warden ability, and this is pretty much crushed because we have so many dragons next to the important defenses, which means they are so tanky they won't die too quickly. All of the air defenses are down, and this is going to be an overwhelming 3-star. Obviously, the defenses were not maxed, but still, with this setup, I don't think that it would have changed too much, even though, like I said, the defenses were not maxed. But we will try to find another base setup, because this was once again pretty similar to the first one. And we will try to, well, find a base which is nearly maxed, because that's always more fun if you can triple those. But so far, this attack looked really solid, and the strategy itself as well. So let's take a look at the next one, and this is going to be like a little bit different. Once again, not totally maxed. I don't know what's happening today, but I don't find any of those really completely maxed out bases. Let's just try to figure out a way on how to triple that. We can see on the left side the Inferno Tower is within the reach of the Queen, even though she might be standing out of the range of, she might stand on the outside of the wall, but she should be able still to reach the Inferno Tower, which is nice. And you don't really always have to go for those, how to say it, for those air defenses or like super value defenses when it comes to the dragons. Sometimes it's better to actually try to clear out a couple of defenses for the bat spells, which means the multi-inferno tower, maybe we get even the wizard tower on the left as well, because then it's easier later because we don't have to freeze anything of those. So our queen is going strong, getting rid of the bomb tower, getting rid of the next two storages, and then should target the enemy inferno tower. With this being said, I already said in the beginning that we'll take a look as well on how to defend the DragBat. And the best thing you can do against that is try to spread out your defenses, which do the splash damage. Inferno towers and wizard towers are the most two important things. And then try to make sure that they are covering each other. But not like this guy did, with the Inferno Tower on the left and the Inferno Tower at the top and the Wizard Tower next to it, because this means you can freeze both defenses at the same time. You try to avoid that, but at the same time you would want to cover it, which means you always have to use a gap in between of those defenses to make sure that you can't cover both with one freeze. With this, bat spells are pretty much useless, except someone is finding an opening where he can use it in the attack itself, but that's actually kind of rare to actually that people are making it work. So that's the main thing on how to defend this particular strategy, and that's my opinion as well. Now I'm already getting into the kind of like the end phase of this video, because I want to talk about how good DragBat actually is right now. And I think DragBat has the same issue as before the patch, that the strategy itself is relying on the bat spells. The bat spells has to get the value done, otherwise the strategy is not working, and it's heavily depending on the bat spell. And if a defender has their defenses set up correctly, like with the Wizard Tower, with Inferno Tower, then it's actually super hard to get the value you need out of the bat spells. Otherwise, the spam dragon I posted a couple of days ago, you should for sure make sure that you're checking that out and watch it, because I think that's the stronger version of dragons right now. I think just like spam dragons in that sense is way stronger, because it's not relying on the bad spells and on bad base building of the opponent. With mass dragons, you can just overwhelm the base, you can just completely smash it without really noticing any specific base building things, because dragons are so tanky right now, they can tank for themselves. You don't really need the bats. So bats are nice to have, and it's really overwhelming on a couple of bases, but I don't recommend the strategy for pushing, for example, because if you're having like those classic ring bases or like classic trophy bases, or even like a lot of bases I found today had those kind of not cornered, centralized, that's the right word, centralized multi-inferno towers. And with this setup, it's super hard actually to get bat value because everything is covering each other. And with this setup, it's nearly impossible to get actually good value with the bat spell. So to all of you guys who are trying to use dragons, I recommend for sure you should watch the Queen Walk Drag and the Mass Drag video I did a couple of days ago, because those two strategies are, in my opinion, the two strongest strategies right now with dragons. Bat Drag is fun to use. Bat Drag is a nice strategy to use, especially in war, in my opinion. But let me know your opinion. What do you think? Do you think it's like different? Did you guys had more success with DragBat in Legend League, or do you think I'm right with my I don't know, like what I think right now over DragBat? Because I think Queen Walk Drags or Mass Drags are way stronger. But that's basically it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the next one.